The Objective News Network Presidential Candidate Profiles, the 2024 election. Hello, everyone. This is John Hnatio reporting for the Objective News Network. Welcome back to the next in our series of profiles of the candidates for president in the 2024 election. We've already discussed Mike DeSantis, the Republican governor of Florida, Representative Dean Phillips, businesswoman Marianne Williamson, and businessman Vivek Ramaswamy. In discussing each of the candidates, we looked across 18 areas of major interest to the American people as they prepare to go to the ballot box to elect their next president in 2024. Today, we are going to talk about Asa Hutchinson. Again, we will use authentication to help us through the analysis. Authentication has no human in the loop to introduce bias one way or the other. The information either exists or it doesn't. Asa Hutchinson was born on December 3, 1950. Biographical information available on the internet says that he's a Christian, but does not go into detail as to his denomination. Hutchinson was born in Bentonville, Arkansas, the son of Coral Virginia Hutchinson and John Malcolm Hutchinson Sr. He earned his bachelor's degree in accounting from Bob Jones University in South Carolina in 1972 and received his JD from the University of Arkansas School of Law in 1975. At age 31, Hutchinson was the nation's youngest U.S. attorney. He made national headlines after successfully prosecuting the Covenant, the Sword, and the Arm of the Lord, or CSA, a white supremacist organization. Hutchinson was the 46th governor of Arkansas. He served in the U.S. House of Representatives and has extensive experience as a senior executive and appointee to cabinet agencies, where he served to lead the Drug Enforcement Administration and the Department of Homeland Security's Border and Transportation Security Directorate. Hutchinson has been openly critical of former President Donald J. Trump. He has announced Trump's efforts to overturn the 2020 election and said he should drop out of the presidential race. According to an article appearing in the National Security Daily, quote, "He's a radical for his party because he's advocating an old-school worldview," close quote. On the national security front, Hutchinson has said that the U.S., quote, "will continue our support of Ukraine," close quote. Quote, "If we stand by and let this nation falter, it leaves hostile Russia on the doorstep of our NATO allies," he said. Hutchinson voiced backing for Israel in its conflict with Hamas. He states that he wants to promote responsible decoupling in key industries and technologies, encourage the reshoring of manufacturing capabilities to the U.S., and bolster relationships with Indo-Pacific allies through trade agreements and strategically appropriate mutual defense pacts. Building a relationship with other Asian countries is a key strategy most candidates are pushing. While Hutchinson opposes armed conflict with China, he advocates leveraging regional alliances, strengthening the naval fleet, and, if necessary, taking a confrontational stance to protect U.S. interests and maintain open sea lanes. To address crime, his campaign states he wants to increase transparency, ensure consistency across agencies, and rebuild trust between law enforcement and the American people. Authentication found, however, a dearth of data on how Mr. Hutchinson would reform the corrupt court system in the United States as part of a bigger criminal justice system, other than his focus on law enforcement. Hutchinson's view on resolving the national debt looks something like this. a balanced budget, reduced federal spending, and growing the GDP. He would eliminate 10% of the non-defense federal workforce, institute a hiring freeze, and reduce regulatory burdens on both farmers and small businesses to spur GDP growth. Authentication, however, found no specific plan or research that this three-pronged approach would successfully handle the spiraling exponential growth of the national debt. Authentication did find evidence that Hutchinson has an impressive track record in Arkansas tackling very, very tough budget challenges. On the issue of taxes, Authentication found that Hutchinson praised the Trump 2017 tax cuts, especially the section creating tax-deferred opportunity zones, which he pursued in Arkansas while he was governor. Authentication found a dearth of data on what Mr. Hutchinson would do to lower taxes through tax reforms and changes in the Internal Revenue Service. Likewise, there is a dearth of authentication data indicating that Hutchinson has developed, based on research, any detailed plan for exactly how he would tackle the rising cost of healthcare on a national scale. If his experience in Arkansas is any indicator, though, Hutchinson signed legislation to continue the state's Medicaid expansion, which imposed a work requirement on thousands of participants. It was successful with more than 285,000 people on the program, which was created as an alternative to expanding Medicaid under the federal health law. Hutchinson has explicitly stated that although the Social Security and Medicaid system is sound until 2033, a debate for legislative change is needed now to ensure that these programs are secure past then. He has called for the creation of a national commission to study the issue. On abortion, Hutchinson has expressed readiness to sign a federal abortion ban with exceptions for the life of the mother, rape, and incest. Hutchinson has spoken publicly about the state of schools in the U.S. He has said that he would slim down the federal bureaucracy by abolishing the Department of Education to give states more authority over their school systems. He has proffered, however, no plans based on supporting research as to how this would improve education and what he would specifically do to achieve the dismantlement of the Department of Education. On immigration, Hutchinson's campaign website listed the following policy, quote, prioritize securing the border and dismantling the cartels. My first trip as president outside the country will be to Mexico to build a stronger partnership to go after the cartels, to strengthen the rule of law, and to establish cooperation in reducing the unauthorized migrant flow into the United States while improving the legal immigration processing that is currently broken, close quote. Hutchinson has advocated for increased Border Patrol agents and proposed murder charges for those accused of supplying fatal fentanyl. He supports reinstating the Remain in Mexico policy, but opposes family separation and executive action to eliminate birthright citizenship. On the economy, Hutchinson's campaign website listed the following policy, quote, I will end the printing of money in Washington that adds endlessly to our national debt. I will balance the budget within 4 years and submit a budget to Congress that reins in federal spending. I will work with Congress to rescind spending authority for any funds in the pipeline that are not obligated under previous congressional spending bills. Furthermore, no federal regulations will be approved without assuring that they are consistent with congressional intent and do not create unnecessary burdens on citizens and businesses. On the issues of climate change and the environment, when asked if tougher regulations on fossil fuel producers were the answer, Hutchinson replied, quote, "No, provide more incentives for alternative energy production instead," close quote. On the growth of the administrative state, Hutchinson listed the following policy on his campaign website, quote, "Institute an immediate hiring freeze for non-defense federal workers as the first step in our mission to reduce federal government workforce by at least 200,000 jobs, achieving a 10% reduction." On the justice system, Hutchinson's campaign website listed the following policy: reform federal law enforcement agencies to make them more accountable, transparent, and focused. The FBI will be streamlined, and the leadership within the Department of Justice will be changed to assure the equal enforcement of the law and greater accountability. On taxes, Hutchinson says the following policy, quote, "Cut taxes and reduce regulations to boost the private sector and enhance wages for American workers." On equality for all Americans, Hutchinson has a strong position on race, as demonstrated by his prosecution record and defiance of white supremacism. He is, however, a conservative Republican who does not strongly support LGBTQ special rights. On the positive side, Asa Hutchinson is in good health, with no mental impairment that would prevent him from serving 2 terms as president. He has more experience in the executive branch in Congress than any other candidate. He's a fiscal wizard, judging from his successes in Arkansas, and he believes strongly in the equality of all Americans. On the downside, he does not have the direct experience in national security and foreign affairs that other candidates have. His ideas on reforming the justice system are limited to law enforcement and do not address the egregious corruption of the United States court system. It is what it is for Wednesday, December 26, 2023. We look forward to your comments, and please tell all of your friends about us. This is John Hnatio reporting for ONN, and we really look forward to seeing you the next time. Thank you.